Okay, so I think the idea here is that it's a mud volcano. That is, mud is coming up and spreading out rather than sliding down something. So that's why it's upwelling, which is not a very common word, but it means that it's welling up, it's coming up from the ground rather than running off, which is to slide off of something. So you might talk about the runoff from industry. It gets caught in water and carried downhill. Whereas upwelling, it comes up first out of somewhere.
Up first.
Upwelling. Upwelling. Upwelling is going, yes, you imagine you've got a well. You imagine that something's going on where the water is being pushed up out of the well. That's to upwell. That's an upwelling.
Oh, up. We have a well, and it
Yeah.
goes up.
The water comes up through it. So it's
Yeah.
kind of, instead of sitting in it, it's coming up through it.
So,
It's like, yeah, they talk about welling up when the water table rises and overflows.
so actually, this well is related to the real well.
Mhm.
Okay.
So
Great.
we might use it to talk about any kind of volcano as well, because it's the idea is that there's liquid sitting inside something and it comes up a kind of passageway and out, up and out.
So, these ones.
Yeah, so this is the process of the magma coming up through the volcano and coming out the top.
This one, for example.
Yeah. So it's upwelling.
So you will consider this as a well, and then it goes off well. But
Yeah, it's not literally a well, but it's a verb to upwell. We also talk about tears welling up. That is when tears come to someone's eyes before they start crying. It's like you're imagining it's like a tube.
So,
So it's like you're getting ready to cry.
okay, great, I got it.
So it's a kind of a metaphor. You're imagining that there's all this pressure pushing the tears out, which is kind of what it feels like.
I got it. Perfect.
So that's the difference between upwell and runoff. Runoff is always running down something.
Run off.
It's mostly used to talk about how water runs downhill and how it sometimes carries things with it. So that's usually where runoff is used.
Exactly.
It's an exploratory gas well. So it's a well that has been drilled to explore for gas. They want to mine gas. Yeah, they drilled in the wrong place. It's an exploratory well. They were looking for gas, and what they got instead was extremely hot, high pressure water. Why you can't use rinsed.
Yeah.
I think in this case, it's because there's already mud involved. If what's flowing in the water is mud, then the water is not rinsing anything. To rinse something is to use water to remove dirt or to remove something from the surface. What's happening here is the water's actually carrying something onto the surface. So they're spreading, it has spread that out. So spread is a better choice than rinse for what's happening. Rinse is it's a very old verb, but it doesn't mean wash. We have wash for that, but it means to remove things from the surface using water.
Adam, can you also explain why instead of triggered, we cannot use this one, happened?
Okay, so it's because of what the transition is here. That gas drilling has done something a mud volcano has created would be right, but has happened a mud volcano wouldn't work. You could say that a gas drilling has happened or a mud volcano has happened, but you couldn't say the transitive, gas drilling has happened a mud volcano.
Mhm.
We don't happen something. That first sentence is actually pretty bad because it should say gas drilling on the Indonesian island of Java, capital Java, capital J,
Mhm.
has triggered a mud volcano. So there's some words missing there and some punctuation is wrong.
So
Yes, yeah, what took place? What happened? You would say what is happening,
Yeah.
or yeah, you wouldn't say what happened.
it
It
should
has
be
to be
ed.
it has to
Should
be
have ed.
the past participle. What happened?
What happened or what is happening?
Yes.
Yeah, great.
You could say what happens when. What happens when we press this button? That is, you're asking what will happen, really. But you're
Yeah.
using the present tense, happens.
Great.